Hello, Michael. Have you
Hello.
spotted something new?
I have spotted a rather large appendage you seem to have in your mouth,
Yes,
or
I
very
have
close to
got
your
my
mouth.
I have my pod, my pod microphone.
If
I'm
if
very
anyone
excited.
if you're listening to this and you haven't got vision, it's quite amusing. If you're looking on YouTube, you'll realize what is he
Yeah,
doing?
this is especially for YouTube, but it's also actually it's just for audio only to make me a bit
I
more
am I am
deeper.
going to buy one, but I think it might be a bit more subtle. You look like, oh, for the older viewers, you look like whispering Bob Harris from the old Grey
I
Whistle test.
do, I do.
Yeah,
Who's your favorite band, Michael?
yeah.
Anyway, viewers, listeners, friends,
Romans, country.
Romans, yeah, we're back. We're back.
Hey,
It's a new season, 24-25, and we are back. And the league kicks off on this Friday night, with Manchester United at home to Fulham. So Manchester United 0, Fulham 2. Emil Smith Rowe to get one of them.
really?
I'm still heartbroken he's left Arsenal, but I'll obviously get over it during the season. He is in my fantasy team. So, Michael, tell us what you've been doing during the summer.
Well, what have I been doing? I've been
No,
doing.
don't bother.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no. There you go. I've been to a very, very football nation. No, actually, no, it wasn't. It was Austria. No, it's not. Um,
Oh, they weren't they were, to be fair, they weren't bad in the Euros. Austria,
no, they
they
weren't.
were actually well organized, disciplined, and because they had that ex Manchester United Ranić guy, didn't they? And he was rubbish at Manchester United, but he looked quite good for Austria.
Yeah, well, I thought the Euros were quite good though. They were quite good.
The
It's quite
Euros were good.
entertaining.
England performed as expected.
Yeah, disappointing in a way. Even though they got to the semis or whatever, it was disappointing. They could have played better. But on the bright side, I had a couple
We
of really
got to
good.
the final. We lost another final.
Did I say semi? See, this is why I don't do football because I know
Yeah,
football. But I
yeah.
had,
For the new listeners, Michael knows absolutely nothing about football.
but I did have a very good couple of entertaining nights in the pub watching it. So well done to Tom at the Griffin,
Excellent. So
sponsored by
basically,
Tom at the Griffin.
so what we do, we are the Diamond Dogs FPL, the Diamond Dogs Fantasy Premier League. And we have a fantasy league of about 70 to 80 players. And what Michael and I do is we look at the teams each week, talk a little bit about it, make some suggestions for transfers, meaning you don't have to. But basically, anything I say, do the opposite. That's
Yeah,
how it goes, right, Michael?
yep, absolutely. And if you're not going to do the opposite, God bless you.
God bless you.
Everyone loves a try.
The last two seasons, I have performed horrendously.
Is it the last two?
Because,
All right.
well, yeah.
I knew you were
Last season, I was in the lower quartile of the league. I could not buy a victory. I couldn't buy a green arrow, basically. But my mistake was the last two seasons is not having Haaland in my team. I kind of refused to have Haaland. Not that I'm anti Man City or anything like that. I just thought he's a lot of money. This season, he's even more money at 15 million. And guess what? I don't have him. So
Salah's expensive and Cole Palmer's expensive. If anyone's got all three of them in their team,
Salah's expensive. Yeah, I mean it's they're all expensive.
but it
So
does open it up. It's quite good because it opens it up. You can't, unless you're going to have a really rubbish team, you can't really have all three.
no,
So it's quite good. And
this
like you're
season I
going to do
think
rubbish because you
Michael.
haven't picked Haaland again.
Yeah, this season we should try and do a few more, get some more interviews going.
Yes.
Get some of the
Yeah.
people from the league to actually be brave enough to join us on here,
Mhm.
hear their views. But anyway, who cares about their
Get
views?
James on? Do you want James on?
James, Spurs James. Oh yeah. So he made a prediction. This is James's prediction for this season. Spurs to win the league. It's a fair shout if you like. Spurs under 21s to come second, Spurs Academy team to come third. And I can't remember who he had fourth. It might have even been Arsenal or Villa, but it didn't really matter. So
Okay.
yeah, we could get James on because James is He's mid-40s, but he's like a, what do you call it, primary school child.
But anyone who follows, you've got to join. If you're listening to this, join the WhatsApp group, because anyone who follows it, the banter between Robin and James.
Well, it's worse. He's my fitness coach, so I get it in the neck all the time.
Did you say fitness or thickness? He's a thickness coach.
He's a thickness coach. Yeah, he's as thick as two short planks. Are you listening, James? Right. Anyway, less of the James corner.
Yep.
I think what we should do, we should start with our predictions for the season, because we were really very good at those.
Do you know? I've actually written that down. The top four, I think. Yes.
Okay. Let's give me your top four then.
My top four
in order.
I've got Man City 1, Arsenal 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, and for 4th, I've gone for Villa.
Okay.
Be told off.
What about 5th and 6th?
Oh God. Spurs 5th, Man United 6th.
Okay. I've got, now bearing in mind I'm an Arsenal fan, I've got City at 1st, Liverpool 2nd, Arsenal 3rd, Spurs 4th, Villa 5th, and Man United 6th. So we definitely agree on Man United, and we're almost agreeing on the others. Here's an interesting thing, though, listeners. The charges against Manchester City, which were going to be heard at the end of October, are being brought forward into the middle to end of September, with a verdict in January. So at this point in time, I have them winning the league, as you do. By January, they could be playing Wrexham.
Would it change that quick? Would it change? That'd be brilliant.
No, it wouldn't change for this season. But anyway, but the first of they actually took the Premier League to court, and it was mentioned before the summer break, and nothing's been said. But apparently that is coming up for final conclusions next week, I think, as early as next week. And that's where what they're basically trying to do is to say it doesn't matter if it's a small bakery in Abu Dhabi and they want to spend 800 million a year sponsoring us, they can. So basically they want to be able to take money in from anywhere at any level. And of course you can imagine the damage that would do to the Premier League. So I'm dearly hoping that the Premier League win that one, but we will see. But I think the Premier League, certainly the head of the Premier League, is I think is quite angry about City. So we'll see. We'll see.
I'd like to
if it's a level playing field without any of this nonsense going on, I can't see anybody getting past City. I really want Arsenal to, but it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, I thought Newcastle would get higher with their being out, but they've just been knackered with spending cap, haven't they? I thought they would have maybe done better, but they haven't been able to bring in big players, have they?
No, but they did save their bacon on the fair play, didn't they? Didn't they do a swap with Chelsea where they sold a player to Chelsea for 30 million and Chelsea sold one to them for about 20?
I think you find that might
because Villa did that as well with
Villa
Chelsea.
sold an academy player to Chelsea.
Chelsea did it. Chelsea did it twice, yeah. Academy players are going for 30 million, whereas, I don't know, squad proven players are going. People are not buying that.
What your one for the one?
He went in the end for 27 plus 7, so 34 overall. Which, he's been injured a lot, so okay, it's probably fair. But why is no one buying? Why is no one buying Ivan Toney? I mean, I've asked Claire this. Of course, she thinks he's way better than Solanke, who Spurs splashed out 65 million for.
Do you think someone's got a bet on where he's going?
Yeah, but the thing is, why would you buy a player for a lot of money who is one bet away from a lifetime ban? Now, I asked Claire, who's a Brentford fan, about this, and she said he's not an addict, which means he's stupid. So
does she know it?
well, she follows
No,
Brentford.
but she doesn't know it. So how is she going to know
She
if he's an
eats,
addict?
sleeps, and drinks Brentford, so she knows everything there is to know about Ivan Toney and his
Gambling habit.
personal life. So according to Claire, who I'm not going to argue with, he's not an addict. He was just a silly boy. So who would spend 50 million on a silly boy or 60 or 70 million, which Brentford seem to think they're going to get? So I think he's staying, but he's in our team. But we'll come on to our team.
Now, that's fine. In fairness, if he's in, I don't think he's a bad player if he stays at Brentford anyway.
No, he's a good player. He's a good
he
player,
might
but I think
he might shine there.
He's just too much of a risk for anybody. Because if I was Arsenal and we go, oh, we need a striker, let's buy Toney. My deal with Brentford would be, if we pay you 50 million, 60 million, whatever the figure is, if he puts a bet on inside the next 5 years, then we get our money back. Because why would you buy a player who, as I said, is one small gamble away from a ban?
Yep.
What about relegation, Michael? It's always good to start the season with relegation.
Hang on.
We might have got this right last year. We
we
definitely said Luton were going down. That was for sure. Sheffield United as well. They were really bad.
Who's come up? Leicester, Southampton,
and Ipswich. Leicester came up as champions, Ipswich in second, and Southampton won the playoffs.
I don't know. I think probably all three going back down.
I don't think so. You see, I think
I'd like to see Ipswich.
Leicester were a season out of the Premier League, so they're used to the Premier League, as are Southampton. I think this year Everton are going down. I think they've scraped and survived.
But there is someone coming in talking about buying them, isn't there? One of their shareholders is talking about buying them back, or the majority share. So that might help them. But yeah, they are a bit stuffed on financially.
It might. Ipswich and Wolves, I've got going down.
Wolves?
No, I mean, I think the trouble is when you look at the teams, they're all pretty good teams. So to find three that are going to go down is quite difficult. But
I'd like to see Ipswich stay, because I just think the fact that they're sponsored by Ed Sheeran is quite funny.
Yeah. Come on, then. Who are you picking then?
Right, I'm going to go Southampton.
Bottom?
Oh, crikey. I've got to think of who's in the bloody league now, haven't I? See, I don't know anything about football. You've now asked me a question.
Well, you Bournemouth, Brentford's, Wolves, Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace. There's a load of dross.
Oh, God, there is. Right. I'm going to go.
Like this podcast, there is a load of dross in the Premier League.
I'm going to go Forest will be second bottom.
Okay.
Southampton bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with... I'm going to take a gamble.
Spurs.
I was actually going to take a gamble on Brentford.
Brentford?
Yeah.
Brentford? Yeah. That wouldn't be funny.
I was going to take a gamble on that. An outside on that.
So I think just briefly, we have... So as we said, we have this fantasy league. It's called the USA UK Soccer League, because when we first started it a number of years ago, we had a few of our American friends join. We now have friends in Australia who've joined, and we already had friends from Saudi and Dubai. So we are truly a global, international group of people.
We've even got people from Liverpool as well, haven't we?
We got some people from Liverpool, yeah. So that definitely makes us worldwide, doesn't it? But we're not talking about
it means we're going to
get they get very upset. I think what we should do, and which is going to be difficult for those that are only listening and not watching, we need to talk about our team. So Michael and I have a joint team in the league, and I'm just going to share my screen, Michael. Yeah, there we go. Pop that bad boy up there. Move that down there. So what we did our Diamond Dogs team, what we did was we asked the computer to pick the team, the auto select, which it did. So we've got our squad. We haven't tampered with the squad. We've left it exactly as it was picked. And what we're going to do each week, if we've got transfers to make, we're going to do the auto pick transfers. So actually, we're not
the auto
going.
Pick has put Tony in there that he just been slagging off.
I know, and we got him as captain.
Yeah.
So our team this year, Raya in goal, kept the most clean sheets last year. Kind of makes sense. Robertson, Liverpool, great player. Away to Ipswich, should do all right there. Guardiola away to Chelsea. Chelsea will probably field about 74 players for that game. Virgil van Dijk. So we could put Saliba in instead of Virgil van Dijk because we've got two, or we go with three at the back instead of four, and we got Trippier. Midfield, Eze, Martinelli, Sterling, picked by the computer, not by us. Up front, Darwin, Tony, and Isaac. So you said before we should make Isaac captain, yeah? Should we just do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Vice captain.
I can't do Ezra because I put them. He's playing Brentford, isn't he? Yeah, because Brentford are going down.
Okay. So do you want to take out one of the two? We've got three Liverpool players. We don't really want to have three in this weekend.
You've got to take one of them out of defence, haven't you? You can't have two defenders there, two Liverpool defenders.
No. So okay. Let's take out Van Dijk and switch him for a midfielder, and we got Rashford or Mutombo. Let's put Rashford in, shall we?
Yeah.
He was rubbish in the Charity Shield, but he's trying to get his shooting boots on.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So
it's a mixture of players, isn't it?
We save our team and we'll see what happens. It's a kind of an experiment. So next week, if we get one or two free transfers, because I think it's all changed this season, the number of transfers, we'll come back with and see what the auto pick says.
Yeah, but it's not going to be us picking it. It'll be the computer picking it. So otherwise, we'd end up with one of our teams, wouldn't we? And Haaland, we haven't got Haaland or Watkins up front.
We've got no Haaland, no Watkins.
No.
I had Watkins in my first draft, but I took him out because I was reading some stats in that actually he overachieved last year against his XGs, and the feeling is he probably won't do the same again this season. I personally think Villa will struggle this year, but that's just me.
I said last year, although I'm a Villa fan, I think they overachieved, and getting into the Champions League could be a season or two earlier for them.
Champions League is going to be tough because it's a new format this year. It's a league format, and it's 8 games instead of 6 in the early stages.
They have bought some decent players, I think, but they bought some good players, and
they swapped some players with Chelsea's academy. So all is good. All is good on the money front.
Yeah.
I don't think, other than reminding people that anybody who hasn't put their team in needs to get it in by 6:30 p.m. British summertime this Friday, because the first game is Friday night, as we said, Manchester United losing at home to Fulham. It's an 8:00 kickoff. Some interesting games over the weekend. You know, Chelsea, Man City is a big one. Everyone seems to. I was looking at a league that does that, knockout thing about the money thing, and everybody's going for Newcastle to win this weekend. That's probably the kiss of death for them. And we're going to see. We're going to see who's fit, who's not fit. Any last minute transfers. We've still got 2 or 3 weeks of the transfer season to go.
I feel sorry.
Nobody's making big money because now everyone's scared of fair play.
But I think the ref's got a bit of a problem this week. The ref at the Villa game, Villa West Ham. How is he going to know which player's which?
They both play in their home kit.
Yeah,
that could be. Yeah, that could be quite amusing, couldn't it?
Yeah,
but given that each team these days has about 35 different kits, I don't think we need to worry about a clash of kit.
No.
you know. And we're going to have new VAR. So I think next week there's going to be lots and lots of talking points that we haven't got this week. Next week I'll be away in the south of France, so I won't have my trusty podcast microphone, Michael. So I don't know how that will affect the sound quality.
I'm going to have to get one then, aren't I? I'm going to have to get some.
You are going to have to absolutely get one in. So
before we go, I'll just show the listeners the nice birthday card I got.
Yes. Villa are shit. Happy birthday. Who sent you that?
That was my darling brother. Yeah.
Oh, he lives in Newcastle, right?
Yeah. He supports them as well. Yeah,
He's what?
He supports them as well. Well, the whole family's Newcastle fans, but yeah, he decided that I don't know where he found it, but he got that card for me for my birthday. That's nice of him, isn't it?
He probably had it specially made.
Oh well, no, I'm sure there's more than one. But yeah, so that was nice. So I'm not going to have to find some sort of Newcastle one on it.
Yeah, you are. Anyway,
extra shine,
Michael.
E on the end.
It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from
me. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.
Next week, probably.